Hey foodies, welcome back. Apparently Funky Dineva wasn't finished getting the internet talking. Because after that clip about Krishan Rock and Blueface had everybody debating whether Funky went too far with his words, there's another Funky clip I want to talk about. A mother and her family are out eating at a restaurant with their autistic child. According to the mother, her child was being vocal while the family was eating. An older woman who was also dining at the restaurant came over to tell the lady that the noise was affecting her hearing aids and actually causing her discomfort. And that's when things kind of went left. Funky had some very strong opinions about how the mother handled it, and y'all already know Funky. He did not tiptoe around his opinion. Take a listen.
Hi, I'm hearing impaired, and I wear hearing aids, and all I can hear is him yelling.
He has autism.
Okay.
So if you don't want to cooperate in public, then you should do takeout order. I have to deal with you and her. You can deal with everybody. You have to deal with everybody else.
Well, I worked with her son who had autism.
My son has autism.
So what are you guys trying? What can I do about it?
No, I mean, you know what? There might be some strategies that, manage to take care of. I don't know.
Yeah. You guys are going to viral for this one.
Well,
Messing with an autistic kid, that's a big one right there. Yeah. You guys need to do takeout if you guys can't deal with kids. Do you think it's hard enough for us? You don't think it's hard for us?
I know you would see.
You think I want to deal with this shit? I don't want to deal with this shit either, but I have to. So.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with it either, and you don't get the right to come to public and make other people have to deal with it. I am sorry, and I got jammed up for this, but from the you don't want to cooperate, you go get takeout. Absolutely not. You go get takeout. Okay? Now, I know some of y'all carry this belief that, oh, it's a public space, and if you don't want to deal with the public, then you go get takeout, or you don't get to come in public. You're wrong, you're ignorant, and you are what's wrong with the planet. I am sorry. There, in my opinion, is a reasonable expectation of peace when you go into public. Okay? If you got a baby, okay, that stems out loud, I think that it is very selfish of you to come into a family restaurant where people have an expectation of a reasonable, peaceful experience and basically say, oh, well, everybody around got to deal with it. And I am not suggesting that somebody said peace in public. Yes, peace in public. Yes, peace in public. When I go to a family Italian restaurant, when I go to a family soul food restaurant, when I go to Red Lobster, when I go to TGI Fridays, there is a reasonable expectation that the person next to me is not going to be doing something that is so loud and so distracting and disturbing that I can't enjoy my meal. And it's no different than being on a goddamn airplane. Nobody should have to fly from Atlanta to LA with your child for whatever the reason. Screaming, kicking the seat, flailing their hands. There is a reasonable expectation of peace when being in certain public spaces. Now, I am not saying that people with autistic children cannot go out to eat. What I am saying is you choose where you take them. Y'all wanted to go out and eat as a family, y'all should have went to Chuck E. Cheese. Y'all wanted to go out to eat as a family, y'all should have went to Chuck E. Cheese. That was somewhere that child could have screamed to the top of their lungs and nobody would have gave a damn. Y'all should have went to Dave and Buster's. Y'all should have went to the county fair. Y'all should have went to the city park and to a food truck. Y'all should have went to a mall food court. There are plenty of places that you can take a child who has decorum and behavior issues and whatever. And not just autistic children. If you have a disruptive child, you take them somewhere where the environment can accommodate whatever issue that they have. You do not get to come to the family-friendly local restaurant that's been here for 30 years, where people come in and they order their chicken parm and their sweet tea, and your child sitting here screaming and stimming and making noise and flailing, and then you tell the rest of us we got to deal with it. No, you're wrong. You are wrong. You're wrong. And y'all can go and make every think piece that you want to make. I do not give a damn. You can put me on every mommy blog. I do not give a damn. And it's not about me trying to limit where your child can go, but it's not your fault that you got dealt that hand, and it ain't our damn fault either. Okay? You do not get to take disruptive children into spaces and subject everybody else to your child's disability or whatever their problem is. It's not right. You have the herd, and then you have the outliers. That's not the way society works. Society doesn't bend to the few. Society bends to the many, and the few have to get with the program. That somebody said disabled people have rights too, and they can go wherever they please. They absolutely can. And you know what else they can do too? Deal with people in public having an adverse response to them being there. Okay? And again, by no means am I saying autistic people cannot go out. People with badass kids cannot go out, nor am I equating autism with being bad. But what I am saying is, why would you even want that anxiety as a parent? Let's start there. What I'm suggesting actually helps everybody involved. As a parent of a child that makes loud, audible noises, you cannot tell me that you are not anxious, embarrassed, flustered, bothered, or annoyed when your child is in public and everybody's looking at them crazy. So why not take your child with pride to an environment that can accommodate their disability? Don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody should have to hear it. Moving.
Funky Dineva has never exactly been known for choosing his words carefully. But when we're talking about children with disabilities, I think the conversation changes. Now, this is where I want to hear from y'all, because I understand that Funky's style is exaggerated, provocative, and sometimes intentionally offensive. That's part of why people watch him. But I also think there's a difference between roasting celebrities who voluntarily live their lives publicly and talking about children who didn't ask to be a part of the conversation. And maybe I look at this differently because I'm in education. I've taught children with all kinds of learning needs, abilities, and behaviors. And one thing I've learned is what somebody on the outside sees as a child simply acting out can have a whole lot more going on underneath. That doesn't mean parents shouldn't parent. It doesn't mean teachers shouldn't have expectations. And it doesn't mean inappropriate behavior should just be ignored. But autism isn't one size fits all. So when we start making sweeping statements about autistic children or their parents, that's where I think we need to be careful. And here's what makes this interesting to me. We just had this conversation about Funky's comments regarding Krishan and Blueface.
She retarded, he retarded, the baby retarded.
And people said, that's Funky, he's always talked like that. Other people said, nope, funny is funny, but there's still a line. And some people were like, he's right about Blueface and Krishan, but why include the child? And now we're basically having that same debate again. So I'm turning this one over to y'all. Do you think people are taking Funky Dineva too seriously because outrageous commentary has always been his brand? Or do you think being a comedian/commentator doesn't excuse everything you say, especially when children and disabilities are involved? Because I have a feeling the foodies are going to be divided on this one. Keep it respectful, but tell me what you think below. Like, share, and subscribe. Ta-ta!